What is it?
Members of the Police Management Board, senior officers present, a delegation from the Civic Forum Initiative, good morning to you all. You are welcome to the National Election Security Task Force Press Center, where this morning we are hosting the Civic Forum Initiative. That is a combination of so many civil society organizations who called on the Inspector General of Police and the National Election Security Task Force this morning. To start their briefing for us, may I kindly invite Dr. Angela Jomina Abuaji to give us some remarks. Please let's welcome Madam as she comes. Thank you very much. Can I bring this down? Thank you very much, members of the press, police officers, my colleagues from civil society. We are hearings that we see across press reports, radio, TV, social media. We needed to know what the police is doing. Heard from the horse's own mouth about the kind of strategies that the police is deploying in these acts, so that we would not have any life lost, or we would not have serious happenings across the country. We have been assured by the IGP that they are in charge. Of course, as civil society, we will continue to monitor what is happening across the society. We'll continue to also assess the level of peace or the level of damage that is going on. But we know that the Ghana Police Service can be up to their task. So at this point, all we want to say is that we are imposing a certain, because you have watched over us on your duties. So at this point, I think I can only say that we are assured as civil society organizations that the IGP and his people, both men and women of the force or the service, are in charge. Let's continue to have it that way so that the incidents will reduce or be eliminated completely. Thank you very much.
The co-chair of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers. We're here today, happy to have met the Police Security Task Force. We are now at their press center. It's been very, very illuminating to engage the police, because having observed And so we came to find out what is really. First, we must commend them because their presence made a lot of difference during the election process. They were there, calm and collected. Who knew they were there? They behaved well. They had assured us earlier election, before, during, and after. So we're just wondering what is happening after some of the things we have seen. Of course, because some of us, when we see a couple of that, and so people get empowered that somebody has gone to take a TV from somewhere, taking a washing machine from somewhere, so I can also go and do that. And so we think that as a civil society organization, CODEO, CFI, the religious leaders, we should find out. They are being caught on camera. They are being seen. Those who are destroying things, they are seeing you. The police truly have convinced us that they have a strategy. That is, take time, so that the law is slow, but when it catches you, it is sacrificing your lives. What we have understood, perhaps those who want radical moves from the police, who want the security forces to shoot and kill, then we know somebody is in charge. But you have decided that that will not be a tactic, that will not be acceptable, because that will escalate. They will be found out. Judgment Day is coming very soon. So we live here, going back to our various organizations and churches, religious bodies, to continue to pray for the nation, have a smooth transition from one government to the other, and that the bigger task that is ahead of all of us, a better country, a better nation, a better continent. We will inherit that as a dividend of the democracy that we all pursue and Ghana has won. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you, Ghanaians. God bless us all. Make our nation prosperous, great and strong.
Assalamu alaikum. I am highly honored to be part of this noble group to represent His Eminence the National Chief Imam, Dr. Osman Mutushaw. As his personal assistant, my name is Dr. Muhammad Marzouk Abubakar Azim. We, as members of the Peace Fraternity, see the election 2024 as another opportunity for all of us Ghanaians to reaffirm our commitment to the consolidation of constitutional order and good government. Therefore, when we witness the isolated incidents of violence after the elections, we have every reason to be concerned. However, having listened to the IGP, Dr. Dampi, we are convinced that the police is really in control. And three values define what he has told us. 1, transparency. 2, diplomacy. And 3, rationality in handling cases of violence. These three values have undoubtedly enhanced the quality of the image of police and the policing regime we are witnessing in this country. We thank the police service, we thank Dr. Dampi, the IGP, and we thank all Ghanaians who are cooperating with the police to ensure an amicable solution to the post-election violence. Once again, thank you, and peace be unto all of us. Amen.
Thank you very much for the remarks. Ladies from you. A microphone will soon be handed to you so that whoever has a question can ask. Thank you. Those Those bearing the mics, go behind the cameras. Thank you. Are there any questions?
A report for police. Civil society organizations, you have told us what IGP discussed with you.
Aside the happening in this country, the post-election reactions, there are some constituencies where results have not been declared yet. As observers who have gone through the election process, observing what is happening, what have you seen about that thing, and what do you think must be done to ensure that those results are declared, so the burning of offices and ballot materials and all this thing can also cease, as we are looking for the end of vandalism and hooliganism as well? Thank you.
My name is Emmanuel Sadi. I work with Top Radio Top TV. As a CSO, I know you are privy to some of these issues. Since 2000, this incident started when the MPP took office. Such incidents started unfolding.
You need to pull them. It's not coming out.
Is it okay now?
That's you.
Since year 2000, such incidents started unfolding. As members of the CSOs, what has been your suggestion to an successive government in finding a solution to this particular situation that we face, we face in every election year after the winner has been declared by the Electoral Commission?
Good morning. My name is Charles Osumi. I work with City FM and Channel 1 TV. Professor Emmanuel Akwete, my question goes to you. So, this happens every time there is a change in government. And there seems to be a vacuum between December 7 and January 7. Now, the president has been quiet since this thing happened. It looks as if every time there's a change in government, between the transition period, the government in power checks out. And so my question is, how do you propose that we solve this issue? Do you think that January 7, between December 7 and January 7, what should happen? Because obviously there's a vacuum there. That 1 month, the government in power seems to check out. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Odumo. I write for the different newspaper. Looking at the situation on ground, what are the traditional rulers doing? Because the happening or the violations around the chief areas. So what are their caution to the people or the hooligans giving a traditional leader to the area? Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Father Michael Kweku, a member of the CFI, representing the Catholic Bishops' Conference. I'll address two of the issues raised, and then move to another meeting. The first one, talking about our assessment of the situation. Our assessment of the situation is first and foremost a togetherness of what we have seen and what we have also heard reported, but above all, what we have conferred with the IGP and his men and women as to what is actually happening on the ground. Because there's nothing as wicked as unverified information. And what we have decided to do after all we have gathered is to ask, we verify them with the IGP and his men and women, and we are convinced that their assessment of the case and their treatment of it is what is useful and very helpful for the Canadian public at this time, that the police is in charge. And for me, I want to reiterate that the police is in charge. And even if it appears that they are not using the necessary force, it is strategic. They would rather appear weak than to cause mayhem. And I think that is what we want to stay with. The undeclared results. Well, the EC is the authorized national body dealing with it now, and there are rules governing how these things must be done. And I'd rather not rush the EC to declare what it has not verified or dealt with. So it is important at this time also to learn how to let the processes move as they are understood and allowed in law. So if the EC requires time to make sure that the processes work as they should, please let us take our time. It is better, if you want, to have the results in peace than to rush it in violence. So this will be my comments on these two issues, and then I will cede the time to somebody else. Thank you very much.
I think I wanted to speak on the Collation Center matters. My name is Kojo Asante. I work for the CDD and also for Kodeo. I think that what everybody should be reminded about is that the CI 127, which Constitutional Instrument 127, set out how results are supposed to be declared. Now, the sad thing with what we have witnessed in some of those cases, with people burning pink sheets and so on and so forth, is that you cannot walk to Parliament, the new Parliament, with your pink sheets. If the Electoral Commission does not gazette you and inform the Speaker, you are not an MP for the new Parliament. You can't go and say, oh, I have my pink sheet, so I want, so I can sit in Parliament. So I don't know how it helps people when they start burning pink sheets and making it difficult for the Electoral Commission to do its job. So I think we just have to all appreciate that there's a process for doing this. And we are all very, very experienced. This is our 9th election. This is not the first time we are doing election. So nobody can say that they don't know how things are managed. So I think all of us, the media, civil society, citizens, should ensure that we can all follow the due process. The police, sometimes we see them, people are saying, oh, why are they not interfering, why are they not using force? And I think IGP has made it very clear that the whole aim is to de-escalate. We lost 8 people in 2020 election. This year we've already lost a number of people. The whole idea is not to actually make the situation worse, but to try and use reason to allow tempers to cool down. So far I think that what the police is doing, the way they are looking at it, is the right way to go. But we also have to help ourselves and ensure that the politicians who are making sometimes these issues difficult also come to the sense that it's not just about them, it's also about all of us in Ghana. The reason why we've gone through this process is for us to have peace and stability, so that we can all go about our duties. So it's important the EC does its work. I don't think there's any option out of that, and we should all encourage everybody to follow the due process. We can't do collation in the kind of environment that we have created. So I hope going forward, whatever constituencies that are left, where the EC cannot immediately get its speech, it will find ways to reconstruct what happened at the polling station. And we should all encourage those processes so that we can complete the process in peace, allow the transition to go on, and then all we can move on with our lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Ansa, Vice Chairman for Civic Forum Initiative, part of IDE. The question was asked about civil society and our role to date regarding this situation. And because this thing keeps recurring. The truth of the matter is that, like my friend just said, my brother just said, civil society has played a significant role in perfecting the electoral system to this point. And I'm proud to say that, for example, what we are working with today, as you might have seen between yesterday and today, the two sides, the outgoing and the incoming, are being compelled by law to now prepare their transition change. It didn't just happen. It was a great work done by the society, because we saw this vacuum in 2000, and because of that we've learned and improved. It was not the initiative of any government. It was pure civil society working together and collaborating with the government to get this done. So there are other things we can talk about, but just to let you know that this election process, what has happened this year, is the lessons will be learned, and we'll go back to the drawing board, and then we'll make improvements to enhance this. And let me also say that before this conference, before this, where we got to now, we had engagements. The Peace Pact didn't just happen in vacuum. Civil society, CFR, which we are all part of, was part of the process. And that is part of the reason why we are able to now come back to IG and his team, because he was a signatory and all the parties, we can reinforce what they have done. So civil society is, I believe, a very significant part of this process. And I want to just finally say that from the meeting with the IG, we found out that they are very tactical. And maybe that not everything they are doing is so visible, but it's our job as journalists, media people in this society to spread the message in a way that will not create distortions and will not create any confusion in the country. So we must be accurate in our reporting, and also not just take this partisan postures as we have the information. I think that is what the letter wants to say concerning these matters. Thank you.
I'd like to wrap up this session by making one or two comments with regards to the questions that were raised. My name is Major General Coleman, retired. I used to be the chairperson for the Civic Forum Initiative. Civil society, as you all agree, serves as the watchdog in everything that we do in this country. And we have, from the very beginning, we're monitoring every step, everything that has happened before we got to this stage. Now, you also realize that from time to time, we come out and make comments. But we make our comments from informed positions. We've been seeing all these social media clips trending, and it's adding to the disinformation. What is the truth? The truth, per our understanding, can be found here. And that is why we decided to come and fact check. What is it that we are seeing? What is it that we are hearing? And we know that all the reports, the police have all the information that is required to authenticate what is happening. We have applauded the police for their diplomatic strategy that is adopted this year. A good number of us were expecting the police to be engaged in what you normally call police brutality. I mean, the civil population think that the whole police, they get in there and they brutalize this. You see that this year is different. They've adopted a strategy that is allowing the tensions that are developing in the country to slowly go down. And it doesn't mean that that is the end of the story, but we have been assured And having been privy to their strategy before even the election started, we know that none of the cases will be cold case. Anybody who has committed any infraction, anybody who has committed any atrocity, once they have the information, we are sure that they will be dealt with. Such a person will be dealt with. We're happy that the media, the mainstream media, are playing their part, but we want to caution you not to fall into the trap of the social media by reporting things that have not been verified. This is what is causing the anxiety that has brought us here. Please make sure that before you put things out, yes, you might have captured them live, but what is being done about it? Add the two together so that the population will get a better understanding and a better picture of what is happening. We are more than satisfied that the police are doing a wonderful job this time around, together with their colleagues in the National Election Security Task Force. So it's up to us, civil society being the watchdogs, and you, the media, also making sure that you put the right information to the public so that our anxieties can be assured. I thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. We are grateful to be here because we have opportunity to also engage the media in the questions they've asked. And I honestly wish to thank the police for warmly receiving us and listening to the issues we were raising. There's a couple of things we've heard, and I think it will summarize what our colleagues have said. The first one is, and I hope the media recognize this, we had in the 32 years of our history a transition that was unusual. It was quick, two leaders embraced themselves, and the second day after embracing themselves, or let me say the third day, we also got the results. I think this shows that our leaders acted in the interest of the nation, peace and peaceful processes of managing the transitions. So it differs significantly from transitions we've seen in the past. In our conversation with the police, it's become very clear that they did not want to intervene in every situation the way we predict. They are coming, you see, police follow, but you start running. This time, they've changed it, turned it around, and they want to save lives first. But let us also remember that the police collects evidence. And so much as we are misbehaving, and this goes to parties also educating their members, they are collecting evidence, meaning that in a peaceful way, they are coming for you. They will take you to court to be prosecuted. These days they have electronic, anything that they need. So they take photos, videos, and so on. And they will come for you. Maybe you are very busy having your red bread, and somebody walks in and says, well, you have questions to answer. The second point I should make, and I hope the media would also help us, is that the transition processes that lie ahead would mean that our leaders themselves want peace. They no longer want to see post-election violence. So what has happened this time, and yesterday, for instance, we picked up that the elected president was speaking to the public and his members. So do we think that the early concession of the MPP candidate was also in that line to prevent violence? So the violence that has escalated over time or been sustained over time, we've also learned from the police that they also don't want any lives lost and no injuries. The game, as I inferred, is that it's now evidence. But know that as you come out and whatever you are doing is all on recorded, it's all on screens, and it's evidence against you. I think we also have to play our part in educating the public, especially those who instigate this violence and others, that they will be found and the police will prosecute and you could be jailed. But the police say they don't want to kill anybody. Don't take it that they would also befriend lawlessness. So this is the message we have. We are entering a new phase of our democratization where the rule of law will be stronger. And let's not see how things have done in the past. There is space for it in this phase too. So it is, we thank the police for welcoming our request to meet, because we were wondering why, with all these levels of violence, even if they are low-key, spreading and so on, we are not seeing the police doing what we thought they used to do in the past. It's a new day and a new dawn and a new approach to tackling electoral violence and post-election violence. The prosecution is certain and they have all the guidance. Let us educate our people to see, maybe understand the transition processes, the intervals it will take, and why we should not think that the election of a new president and the concessions they've made opens doors for us to be people who take it that it's anarchy and it is for them to do what they are doing. They will be caught, they will be prosecuted, and they will be imprisoned if need be. But now their focus, they said, is to save lives. They don't want one soul lost. Let us spread that message that ultimately, if you misbehave, they will find you. We are going to continue our work in telling our colleagues and networks across the regions that this message must go. If you break the law, you will not be held above the law. They will deal with you according to the law. So those who are behind this should also know that they will be found, because people will be telling the truth and maybe exposing those who have instigated what they are doing. It's a new dawn for policing. We should all take interest in knowing more. And we are grateful we've had the opportunity to talk to the police, understand what they are doing. And I think in our public education and other things, we will do a bit to complement what they are doing so that we have a truly law-abiding situation with transitions. And so our governments can deliver what they promise to deliver. And that will be part of the accountability culture that should grow. On that note, we thank you very much for receiving us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Civil Forum Initiative, for sharing your perspectives with us. As all of us are aware, ahead of the elections, the National Election Security Task Force shared our election security strategy with the general public. We highlighted what we termed our PEP strategy, with the PEP standing for pre-elections, electioneering, and then post-elections. During the pre-election phase, we conducted active engagement with various stakeholders. Also, we deployed our intelligence operations across the country. We also provided support for the EC in all its activities ahead of the elections. On election day, the National Election Security Task Force deployed adequately to all polling stations across the country and collation centers as well. In addition to our deployments, we provided regular updates to the media and the general public on happenings across the country. We also conducted swift arrests of situations that occurred during the election period, all of which we updated you and the public accordingly. Currently, we are in the post-election phase, and all our security strategies have been fully deployed. We have been updating you regularly as incidents happen. This morning, we held a briefing to update everyone on what had happened within the past 24 hours. where we indicated, among other things, that there were some acts of lawlessness in 3 regions of the country. That was the Bono region, Eastern region, and the Greater Accra regions. In all of these instances, the police, working together with the military, responded swiftly, and we were able to bring the situations under control, and calm was restored. Also, so far, we have arrested 107 suspects for their involvement in various acts of lawlessness. One of them has been granted bail, leaving 106 who are currently being processed and will be taken through the due process of the law. We've also highlighted additional measures that have been put in place to intensify security across the country. These include: 1, we have intensified joint patrols with the other security agencies across the country. We have also deployed our intelligence officers who are roaming through communities looking for perpetrators, and we will arrest every one of them that is involved. Additionally, we have a team of investigators dedicated to reviewing every footage, every picture, every image that we have received in connection with these attacks and acts of lawlessness. And as our review goes on, any person that is identified will be arrested and will be brought to face justice. We are also actively engaging all stakeholders, which is why we have the Civil Forum Initiative with us this morning. We are engaging party leaders and all other stakeholders so that we can work together to ensure the peace of this country. Whilst at it, we want to also call on all of us, let us desist from acts of misinformation and disinformation that have the potential to cause avoidable fear and panic, so that we can preserve the peace of this country. As I conclude, I wish to once again, on behalf of the National Election Security Task Force, assure the good people of Ghana that we are in charge, and go about your duties without any fear or hindrance. Our men are fully deployed across the communities, and we will ensure there will be peace, security, law, and order. I would like to highlight once again that our approach this time around has been engagement, and de-escalation as much as possible. Yesterday, some of our officers came under attack, and we sent a caution out there that the fact that we are using de-escalation approaches doesn't mean that they should take our officers for granted, because they have a right to protect themselves when their lives are at risk. Let us continue to work together as a country to preserve the peace that we have enjoyed so far, so that together we can say that Ghana has indeed won one more time. Thank you very much for your attention, and members of the Civil Forum Initiative, we are very grateful to you for making time to be with us. Thanks for your attention.
Okay.